May 13th, 2006. Mother's Day is a day to be celebrated. Instead, there was a mother who suffocated her little girl. This is the story of Karen McCarron. Hello, happy Friday. It is June 2nd, and welcome to Kelli's Coffee and Crime Chat. This is Kelli, and I'm not as excited as I was last Friday because I have to go back to work Monday. This week went really fast, but I was glad to have it off. I got some relaxation time, got a lot of crafting done, and it was just nice to be able to sleep in, have my coffee whenever I want it, don't have to get dressed, don't have to run out of the house. But today I'm drinking Java Mama's 11, which 11 is from Stranger Things. It's the waffles and maple syrup. And I only had a scoop of that left, so I mixed it with the Mama's Maple Bar, which is still available in our donut collection. So I kind of mixed them both because they both had the maple flavor, which is actually pretty good. I have done that when I'm just about done. I'll mix it with another one. Normally I just mix it with a regular coffee flavor, like no flavor, but I thought these two went well together, and they do. So Java Mama's air roasted, and so you don't taste the roaster, you taste the whole bean. We now have mini iced teas available. That's so good. Now our iced teas come in pods. They're already filtered. So you just put the whole pod into a pitcher of water and let it brew in the refrigerator. Same with our iced coffees. So we have mini iced coffees and iced teas because it is summer. I will leave the link in the show notes. Okay. Today I have a story, but first I want to talk just real briefly. I am planning on covering this soon. There's an Ohio woman named Stacy Colbert who she went missing a number of years ago, and then her remains were found years later, but her murder's unsolved. And that's really big news right now on Instagram, and I'm going to look into this and cover it sometime because it really needs attention. It's one of those that needs attention. Sounds very, very interesting. I don't know the whole story yet. So I just wanted to tell everybody about that. And then I'm going to end this with a couple things that I found. One is an Amazon find, and one is a show I just got done with watching. Because I usually end, if you stay to the end of my shows or episodes, I always bring up something that I've seen on Netflix recommendations, book recommendations, anything like that. Of course, I don't have time to read lately, but I do have quite a few true crime books I need to get into and read. So today is about Karen McCarron. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of this unless you live in the area. I remember when this happened and I completely forgot about it until someone at work reminded me. My sources are Murderpedia, Wikipedia, PJStar.com, which is Peoria Journal Star, and DignityMemorial.com. Okay, Karen Frank was her maiden name. She was born to Erna and Walter Robert Frank. Robert's in quotes. I don't know if that's his middle name or if that's just what they called him. But Walter Robert Frank. She was born December 20th, 1968 in Germany. I think her father may have been in the service, unless he was German. I never found that out. But she graduated high school in Park Ridge, Illinois, and Maine South High School, and Southern Illinois University School of Medicine. She seemed like she was very smart. I mean, School of Medicine, to me, I would think you'd have to be very smart for that. Now, that was in 1995 with a Doctor of Medicine degree. She worked at Methodist Hospital and Proctor. Both hospitals are in Peoria. She also volunteered at U of I, which is University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, as a clinical assistant professor. So she's done a lot with medicine and medical and had the education. Now, Paul McCarron was a student there. And that's how they met. They got married in 1995. And Karen her title was an Illinois pathologist. That's what her job was, a pathologist. They ended up having Katie, who was their first child, and she was diagnosed with autism. Now, she was diagnosed in 2004. She was born July 22nd of 2002. So she was 2 years old when they found out that when she was diagnosed with autism. So she was 2. And then they had another daughter named Emily after her, but I'm not sure exactly how long after. It had to have been a couple years after when they had Emily. They ended up moving to Apex, North Carolina with Paul's mother, because that's where she lived. So Katie could get help at the I don't know how to say this, and I know I'm probably going to butcher it. Mariposa school. Mariposa, because it is a school for it's special education for kids with autism, and it is in Cary, North Carolina. I was going to look that up, see exactly where it was. I always say this. I was going to look it up to see where it was in the state. Completely forgot, because we've only been to like the west side of North Carolina in the mountains. Gosh, it's beautiful there. Beautiful. Paul came home to Illinois on holidays. Now, when I read it, it said Paul and Karen came home on holidays. But then I found out it was just Paul, because Karen, when they had their younger daughter, Emily, and then they lived in Morton. They lived in Morton by this time. I'm not sure exactly when they moved to Morton, Illinois. But they lived in Morton, Illinois. I'm thinking that's when she became a pathologist. And Karen stayed there because they had their younger daughter, Emily. And she would visit North Carolina occasionally. So after about 20 months, Paul came home full-time with Katie. And this was May 3rd of 2006. But on May 7th, Paul went back to North Carolina for work. And I'm thinking he was also in the medical field, but I never found out what he did. Katie, the little girl, she also had 2 paid full-time caregivers. And I know somebody who knew one of her caregivers. I don't know her. I don't know. I mean, I know the girl from work, but she's moved around to different places and I haven't seen her in a while. But she knew one of this little girl's caretakers and said that she was a wonderful little girl. She had a wonderful, I'll get to that toward the end. I don't want to jump to the end here, but she was, when she talked about her, her caregiver said she was a wonderful little girl and she took care of her. Now this was in 2006, and I'm not sure exactly how long she had 2 full-time caregivers. And this is in addition to Karen. So, now, a little bit about Karen's background. Now, she did she was a resident doctor in Cleveland, Ohio. And this was before Morton. So she was a resident doctor, and she was treated for depression. She actually was treated for she was prescribed antidepressants. I don't know exactly what kind. It didn't say, but she stopped taking them early in 2006, and she went to a psychologist for this, and was prescribed, the antidepressants, but she stopped taking them in early 2006, and it's very hard to stop taking. I know you have to wean yourself off of antidepressants, but it sounds to me like she just stopped taking them, is what it sounds like. The doctor she saw never saw any delusional thoughts. He said there was nothing delusional about her. On May 13th, 2006, this was Mother's Day, Karen took Katie for a drive after feeding her and Emily. But then she put Emily down for a nap. But instead of doing the same with Katie, she took her for a drive. She always said taking Katie for a drive helped calm her down, because she had a hard time getting her to sleep, because she was always, I don't know, I guess had energy. I'm thinking, well, I think all kids have energy, you know. But I hated taking a nap when I was a kid. But she took her for a drive, and Erna Frank, which is Karen's mother, she testified that she did not need a nap or to be calm that day. So I don't know exactly. Maybe she was already calmed down. Maybe she wasn't doing anything, and Karen just took her for a drive to calm her down. But Karen actually had other plans. She took her daughter to her parents' house. Now, her mom is at her house, so she knew nobody was home. Her father was in Germany at this time, so she knew nobody was there. She parked in their garage and closed the garage door, took Katie inside. After she got inside, she took a white plastic garbage bag and suffocated her. Sorry, I forgot to say trigger warning. I forget that. I'm so sorry, I forgot. But I'm not going to go into, she suffocated her with the white plastic garbage bag. She returned to her house and carried Katie upstairs to bed, telling her mother that Katie was sleeping. Now, this was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. After Karen's brother came over, she visited with him and her mother at the kitchen table, and then decided to go to the grocery store for ice cream. I don't know how long this was. I never got a time on this. But after this, she went back to her parents' house after she got the ice cream, got the garbage bag that she had suffocated Katie with. She took it to a gas station and threw it away in one of the garbage cans outside the gas station. At 4 o'clock p.m., she said she was going to go up and check on Katie, since she didn't usually sleep that long. This is what she told her mother. Well, after going upstairs, she screamed and started yelling that Katie wasn't breathing. By then, a little while later, paramedics came to the house. But, of course, they couldn't resuscitate Katie. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Karen was not emotional and unusually calm. No embrace to her daughter. No hugging, no crying, none of that, which usually you would see a parent do. Paul returned about midnight from North Carolina, and he had to break into the bedroom and bathroom of his house to find Karen with a suicide note, and she had taken some Tylenol. Not the whole bottle, from what I understand. She had taken many Tylenol pills to try to kill herself, and then she was taken to the hospital. She was taken to the hospital. She told Paul she killed Katie. So she confessed that she killed Katie. At her trial, she was sentenced to 36 years for first-degree murder, concealing a death, and obstruction of justice. I don't know why it was just 36 years. Now, this was in... I don't know when the trial was. I thought it was 2008, if I can remember. But 36 years. That is... She's been in there now for... I do the math in my head here. 2022. 16 years. 15 years probably now. Unless they're counting it. I don't know how they count that. If they go ahead and count when she went to jail in 2004. But I don't understand why she got 36 years. And then after she gets out, she's got 30 months of supervised release. $25,000 penalty to the state of Illinois. She has to pay. And then Paul filed for divorce in 2006. So I never found out why she didn't get life in prison. I am kind of surprised at what she did to this little girl. Now, in October of 2018, I found an article, this was on pjstar.com, that she wants a new trial. And the judge, and they're like, no, this is ludicrous. Why would she want a new trial? She stated that she had religious delusions. When she killed her daughter, she thought Jesus would resurrect her without autism. But then when she, quote unquote, came to, after realizing Katie was not going to be resurrected, that's when she realized that she had killed her. Now, hold on a minute. None of this was talked about in the first trial, in the only trial. She never got a second trial. None of this was talked about, and it really upsets me when people use religious factors for their defense. Let's just bring up the religious thing. People will believe that. Yeah, no. I hate it when people do that. I hate it. It just irritates me. And I'm not religious, but it's like, this really makes, I don't like to, this is not going to be said, I'm trying to word it so it doesn't sound bad, but it makes religion look bad when people do this. And it's not right to do that. It's just not right. I mean, I'm sorry, but they said, this is ludicrous. You are not getting a new trial. Flat. She knew what she was doing. She went to her parents' house. She suffocated the little girl, then went back after getting her ice cream, took the bag, threw it away. So this was all on Mother's Day, a day when mothers are supposed to be celebrated. And I didn't realize it happened on Mother's Day till I just looked this up, but I remember this happening. And when I was talking to the girl that said she knew that, this is big news around this area. People were just in shock that a woman of intelligence and education of medicine could do this. And there's talk about with Paul's family that say that little girl did not deserve this. She was not, it wasn't, because she was trying to say that she couldn't handle her anymore. At first it was like she couldn't handle this little girl with autism. She had 2 full-time caregivers. And the one full-time caregiver that I know, I don't know her, but I know the girl that knows her, she said that caregiver gave her the best last couple months of her life. She said she was a wonderful little girl. Why this mother, quote unquote mother, would do this is beyond me. You know, if she had 2 full-time caregivers, she had a school she was going to in North Carolina, what is your problem? Now, it could be that she was it could be because she stopped taking the antidepressants. It could have thrown her into, I understand all that. I understand there's mental issues here. I understand. I just cannot understand killing your own child. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the story of Karen McCarron. She is still in prison. So she's going to get out. And that could have been maybe why she got the 36 years, because she was mentally unstable. But I don't know if she's going to, well, her other little girl would be grown by now. Emily. Let's see, if she was born, Emily had to have been born between between 03 and 05. So, but that's the story of Karen Frank McCarron. It can be looked up online. You can look this woman up and find out more information on her if desired. Wow. This was the one that shocked the area. And this was another one my mom was going on about, saying how terrible it was. This woman that, was smart and was a doctor, and she did this. And my mom was just going on and on and on. That's why I know a lot of these stories, because I remember my mom just going on about them. And that it like I said, it just shocked this area, and everybody heard about it. Now, I usually end my episodes. I found, first of all, I want to talk about the Amazon find I found. If anybody's looking for an interesting journal or something to fill out, to get your stress out, this is not just a regular blank journal you write in. I mean, you write in it, but it asks, it has different sections that you write in. And it's got, the title is called Fuck It. That is the title. And there's WTF moment of the day in there, and asshole of the day. And it is so funny. People you want to punch in the face. I'm like, I got to get this. But it's on Amazon. If anybody's wanting something like that to get out your anger, highly recommended. I just wanted to pass that on. Now I'm coughing because I'm laughing. Okay. Gotta get a drink of water here. I got my water also. Okay. I just watched on ID, and if anybody's watched this, I would love to know what you think of this. Curious Case of Natalia Grace. It was on for 3 nights, and each night it was 2 hours. So it was 6 hours. You can stream it on Max, which I don't have because it's new. I have Discovery Plus, and you used to be able to stream on there. But it's not on there. Now Max has it. So, which did not sit well with me very much because I wanted to stream it that day. Because you can stream it earlier before it's on. But, I don't know what to think of this. If anybody's seen the movie Orphan, I know that's loosely based, and I don't know which was out first, this or Orphan. I forgot to look at the year Orphan was out, but this girl, people talked about her like she was very manipulative, and now the parents are looking bad because they found DNA of her real mother. And that she's saying she was a child still. Well, she was under 18, so she'd have been like a teenager. But they said she was a teenager or over 18. And the DNA test from her mother said she was born in 2003, making her a child when they got her. But there's problems with that. She didn't look like a child in her face compared to other children with her disability. And she also had matured and had, things about her female area that was like an adult, if you can think of but okay, she wore a bra, number one, and she had all these things, but I'm confused now. Was she a kid or wasn't she? But some of the things the parents did were so wrong. And if anybody's seen this, I would like to see what you know about it, because the father acted like he was acting. He was reenacting where he got down on the floor and was punching the floor, saying that he was his ex-wife, because they're divorced now. His ex-wife did that to that little girl. And I don't know. I don't know who to believe. It's good though. It's a good show, and they're going to come back and do a second part later this summer, is all it said, and it's got Natalia telling her side of the story, and that's coming up later this summer. So never know. Maybe I'll get Max sometime. I don't know. It just upset me that was not. Now Max has my ID shows. It sounds like, instead of Discovery Plus, where I could go on early and stream them early in the day instead of waiting until 8 o'clock at night to watch it from 8 to 10. But anyway, I just wanted to tell about that because that is really something. And the last name's Barnett. Natalia Barnett. That was her adoptive name. And the adoption, the place that they got her was Hollywood, Florida. And it's kind of sketchy. Seems like that place is kind of sketchy. I don't know much about the orphanage there, but it just didn't sound like it was legit to me. I don't know. That's just me. So I just wanted to pass that along if you're looking for anything to watch, and I'm sure they'll have repeats of it on ID. So since I was watching that, I haven't watched much else this week. I've been doing my crafting and eating. So when I go back to work, I'm gonna have to get back on my normal eating schedule. So that's all for today. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. The first weekend of June. We're about halfway through the year. Very hot here, close to 90. So I'm in with the air conditioning. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. And I'm going to think about what I'm going to do next week, next Friday. Not sure yet, but I'm going to look into this story about Stacy Colbert from Ohio. So that's all for today. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.